All right, all right.
Okay, hey, all right, come on now. We got work to do. Everybody's in the tool shed this morning,
What
Eddie.
the heck? I mean, if you're going to replace me, Jerry, at least, you know, do
It would take 3 people to replace you. Hey, welcome to the tool shed. Hey, we're excited to have you here. This is a place you can stop by for about 15 minutes a day, and it'll make every job easier. The Tool Shed is brought to you by Schedule Engine, and man, we're so happy that our good friends over at Emerson, they're sponsoring this episode.
Yeah, we got a couple of techs in here this morning checking out the original Copeland compressor. We got the scroll.
Yeah.
Having a little school up in here. Somebody explained what those gauges were to me earlier. That was pretty useful. I had them for 10 years and never knew what that one hose was for, so that's pretty good. Hey, fun day today. We've got a lot to get through. It's a bit of a recap, so nothing should be revolutionary. And we're going to try and take the system, and again, if you have your system, Mazel tov, that's awesome. Use it, whether your company has like a Nexstar, EIGA, BDR, whatever, that's fine. Just use that. If you don't, feel free to use the Tool Shed system. We're going to give you about 2 to 3 bullet points. And what we'll actually do is we'll go ahead and we'll pop something in the Facebook groups. So if you don't have it, you can print it, put it in your break room. We'll make it super easy. But before we do that, it's Thursday. Jerry, you know what this is, right?
Hey, what I want to mention too, man, hey, listen, today's episode is going to be really, really good if you're a service manager, because we're going to give you some bullet points for each step.
Right.
All right, Thursday, yeah. Sorry.
No, it's fine. But you know what the significance of today's episode is?
No, tell me.
We are halfway through. It's 4 weeks.
4 weeks of an 8-week spring training series.
It's all about gearing up for summer. I think I owe you $10 because I'm pretty sure I would have lost that bet if you'd have said we'd had enough stuff to get through. But 4 weeks, it's all about getting ready. So today we're just going to recap everything at the halfway point. Jerry talks a lot. The tool shed is just the huddle, but the game's out there. And like every practice, it only works if you take it with you out of the van. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. But Thursday is also a day we get a visitor. Our guest today, all the way from Arizona, is the HVAC reefer guy, keeping us safe, all kinds of stuff. He's available on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all that good stuff. Super interesting dude, good human, as he says. Yeah. Let's go ahead and see what he's is on his mind as he works to keep us safe. Let's roll the tape.
All right.
So hey guys, this week we're talking about heat exhaustion. Heat exhaustion occurs when a person cannot sweat enough to cool the body, usually the result of not drinking enough water during hot weather. Some of the symptoms include dizziness, weakness, nausea, headache, or vomiting, blurry vision, body temperature rising to above 101 degrees, feeling hot and thirsty, difficulty speaking. A person suffering from heat exhaustion must move to a cool place and drink plenty of water. So it's really important, you know, when you're on a rooftop, you're outside, you're in a mechanical room, and you see or feel some of these symptoms, or maybe a coworker has some of these symptoms, you want to get them to a cool place and get them cooled down and get them lots of water. Now, it's happened to me. It's really horrible. It makes you sick. And so just watch yourself and watch people around you. And most of all, work safe, be safe, and be good humans, and we'll see you next time.
Man,
I really like Mike. He's got a good message.
He's got a good message. Now, listen, heat exhaustion, you're like, yeah. But here's the deal. That's real. And we've got this like, Hulk smash sort of mentality. And we make a living having a healthy body. As soon as our body's shot, you know, we're in a tough spot. So we must look out for each other. He brought up a great point. He talked about like looking out for your coworker. You know, sometimes, especially on job sites, we'll notice something before the person that's suffering will notice, especially in things like exhaustion. And unfortunately, every year we see fatalities. I think it was last year, especially in hot climates like Arizona. I know we've got people watching from all over the world, literally. We do lose people every year in the trades, and our goal here at the shed is to make sure everybody goes home to their family safe and in one piece. And so make sure you're listening. Heat exhaustion, summer's coming. It's all about getting ready for summer. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. You know who else is in that hot weather?
Hey, let me tell you a really good tip. A good friend of mine who was a technician at the time, Mike Queen, hey Mike, he would set his timer on his phone on a really, really hot day in a really hot attic. He'd set his timer, so about every 15 minutes he would get out of that attic. Super, like,
that's a great
tip.
practical tip. And you know, I mean, some of those attics, even here on the East Coast, they can still get pretty warm. I came out in an attic one day and thought I was seeing Jesus. It was really, really hot. Like, that's pretty hot.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, just me, I guess. Okay, so we've got like a good friend tuning in this morning, bit of an industry icon. Tommy Mello, his entire team from A1 Garage Door and Services. He is the host of the Home Service Expert podcast. Check him out. Follow him on the grams and the feeds. You're gonna learn something. Like, you know, there's just some people that you can stand next to and be smarter.
I listened to his podcast.
There's so many. It's one of the things I love about the trades. Is like, you know, that I heard you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Some of our techs are moving to go find different people to stand with. So that's fine.
I shared that with somebody yesterday, as a matter of fact.
It's so true. It's so true. Ever since I started hanging out with Jerry, I became 10 times more interesting. So it must be true. Right?
And better looking.
And better looking. Right. Okay.
Okay.
You got to stop your mother texting us.
Hey, Tommy. Good to see you.
Good morning. Yeah. All right. So anyway, listen. Let's get into the system. Step 1. All
right.
Everybody should know it by now. But what is it?
Step 1 is get ready. Like, really, that's the, like, you're preparing for the day, you're preparing for the call, but really you got to get ready. And it's like my little girl, when we went to the park, she said, Daddy, here's the plan. You got to have a plan for the day.
Love a plan. Super, super important. You talk a lot about the mental side of what we do. Like, you know, we use our brains a lot. And what do you talk about? Like, you have this idea of a reset.
Yeah, so you need like a reset button between the calls. You need a reset button in the morning, but between the calls is like really where you have to reset, because you get that customer that maybe he wasn't nice to you, or maybe it just didn't go the way you thought it would go. And you got to reset that button, because that next customer deserves the very best version of you.
That's rock
And
solid.
listen, when you get home at night, you got to push that reset button too, because your family deserves just the best part of you as well.
Say that again.
So you got to leave on a call, you got to leave the personal self in the van and take the professional into the house. Oof. When you get home, you got to leave that professional in the van, and you got to take that father, son, brother,
significant
daughter,
other,
significant other into the home.
Yeah. For me, the get ready step is all about putting the customer at the center of everything we're doing. And they, like you say, they deserve the best of it. And if you do that as a technician, a contractor, whatever role you have, but if your company does that and everybody just puts the customer at the center of that, man, you're just always going to have work to do. It's just such, and as Mike says, good humans, right? So, okay, so if that's the obvious one. You got to get ready. Talk to me about this, the Jerry wave and saying hello.
So, hey, I noticed Marlon had it down pat this morning. I'm not sure if Adam had it down pat or not. Listen, but Marlon, you were great at it. Marlins Law, we talked about Marlins Law as our first principal, and he's here in the shed today.
That's right. That's
so
Marlon.
That's pretty cool.
So,
but,
so saying hello, though.
Saying hello is all about first impression. That first impression, and we talked about the 7-11 rule. They make 11 impressions about you in the first 7 seconds. So it's super duper important that you make a good first impression. You can do that by doing the Jerry wave, fixing your face, smiling at people, showing up on time. Is a big one.
Yep. I hear a lot of, I work a lot with technicians. I remind them they all have RTF, which is resting tech face.
Okay.
You know, like as they're walking in the door, they're sort of like half fixing the problem, and they're like, and it's all good, but they forget to fix their face. I think for me, the saying hello step, this is all about setting the agenda. This is where, like, technicians I work with, they tend to think it's like, well, no one's taking my option, or no one's renewing their membership, or no one, like, really, where that comes from is the first couple of minutes. You know, the first couple of minutes, as human beings, we make decisions in split seconds. We make decisions emotionally. We justify them logically. But we got to own those first couple of minutes. It should be our call we run every time. After all, we do this thousands of times. Customers do it once, twice, if that. So make sure you own that time and set the agenda. This is the time where you want to find out about things. Like, you don't want to be like wrapping up and find out they expected a dryer cleaning vent, or, oh, you didn't flush the water heater while you were here. It's all about setting the agenda, getting all the details. As my buddy Aaron says, what starts well, typically ends well. So that's it. So we've got ready, we've said hello, then it's kind of all about doing the job, which is like discovering facts, right?
Right. You got to discover facts. And so when you're going in there, like you're not like saying it could be this or it could be that. You're not like guessing on what it is.
Yeah.
It's just the facts, and we're discovering the facts, and we're going to share those in the next step. But we're really just discovering the facts after we've been a good human and talked to them a little bit.
Yep.
Hey, if I'm coaching a technician and he's telling me like nobody's taking my options, they're all just paying $79 for a diagnostic. My questions are not about the equipment. My questions are about, well, tell me about that homeowner and how long they lived in their home and what kind of problems were they having and
That's a
what
good
did they
point.
not like about it. It's
Yep.
not about the equipment. It's about being a good human and in the first
Discovering the
impression.
facts.
And then when you discover the facts, then they'll listen to you because they like you, know you, and trust you.
It's so good. Even as I'm standing here, I'm thinking, my mind automatically, discover the facts. How old's the system? And when was the last time someone worked on it? And what, like, I discovering the facts on the equipment, but what you're saying is like, discover the facts about the people that actually experience it.
The air conditioner's never going to write a check. Right? It's not. Like, you got to talk to that homeowner. But when you discover the facts, like, it's really good. And what you want to do is you want to be the eyes and ears of that customer because they don't hear or see the things you hear and see.
And they don't know what to do with it. We've all ran that noise call where it's like, there it is. Is that normal? And you're like, uh-oh. Right? Because they don't know what we know. And it's that information asymmetry that we've talked about. So we've discovered the facts. The whole point of this is be thorough, right? Like if we've left the personal in the truck and we brought the professional in, now it's time to take those facts about the home, the customer, the system, and share solutions. What does that look like?
Well, you love that. Like being thorough is your kind of your gig, right? And so when you're telling that customer, you're not saying I'm going to look at your home. You're saying I'm going to look at the entire system. I'm going to do an evaluation of the entire system.
That's right.
And that's being very thorough. And what that does, it cuts down on any surprises at the end of the call. Or like when they say, well, why are you looking at my water heater? You're here to look at my air conditioner.
Right.
Like you're telling them I'm going to be thorough and I'm going to look at the whole system. And that really helps at the end.
Yeah, I think for me, when it comes to sharing solutions, there's this idea that I was fortunate enough, you talk about it, we're all where we are because we worked with great people, and you're going to do a whole episode on that. But like for me, I had a buddy on a ride-along and says, you're editorializing, and I didn't know what that meant. And what he says is like, the news is the news, there's just facts, but then an editorial is someone's opinions about those facts. And what you're doing is you're bringing all your opinions about what something should be or how it could be or what you think things should cost. You need to stop that. You just need to share solutions and just let the customer decide. And so I realized I needed to stop editorializing. Number one thing is you got to remove yourself and sort of be like that sort of good doctor, as we say, and just give the facts.
So your thing is like they share, you share the solution. They say, well, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and you say,
it's great. How would you like me to move forward?
how do you want to move
Yeah,
forward? They say, well, what about da-da-da-da-da, and you say,
appreciate it. Today, how would you like me to move forward?
All right, so we've done the work, and then the last step is review. And so we're going to review the work that we've done, and then we're going to ask for a review by name.
That's it. This is rapidly becoming one of the most important issues for contractors today, for independent contractors, large contractors. It's all about the Google roulette review, right? Like we gotta like how many stars, and that makes perfect sense because when we're looking for something that we to do that we don't understand, social proof tells us that in the absence of knowing what to do, we look around for people that are like us and we do what they do, and that's why reviews are so important. And so there's a couple of steps. We call it review because there's two reviews that need to happen. There's a review with everything that you've done. This is the time to put questions to bed, make sure they're good. And then there's the asking for the all-important review. And I think there's a couple of ways. You bring up a couple of key points when it comes to asking for reviews. What do you like to know?
What I really like is show me, don't tell me. Like you want to go show them the work that you did.
Yep.
Show them that outdoor unit. At the end of the day, if you're on a maintenance, the only thing they can show their spouse is how clean that outdoor unit is.
Right.
And so you want to go show them. Now you can use technology to do that if that customer can't go out with
Yep.
you. iPad, phones, pictures, videos, but you want to review the work you did because that builds value in what you did.
Yep. And then from there, it's all about checking to see that we've earned the right for the. We never demand, we never expect, Missy Smith, I'm all done. Here at ABC Company, we work hard to make sure all of our customers are satisfied. We love those 5-star reviews. Frankly, anything else, it's kind of a failure in my book. I'm kind of particular about what I do. Before I leave, is there anything else I can do, any questions I can answer, or is there any reason you wouldn't feel comfortable giving us a 5-star review? I'd love to make it right.
Yeah.
We never assume. We always ask. Oh, and by the way, if you could use my name in it, my boss loves it. My kids really like it.
I love that.
That's good,
That's
man.
my thing. I love that. When you can say, hey, if you'll put my name in there, I'll read it to my kids. And they just love it when I do that.
Not just that, like we've all been in meetings where like we've read it out by name and the text sort of like, we're human. We like to feel good about our work. But that's it. Listen, time's on. 5 points, a couple of bullet points. I'm going to take all of this. These notes, we'll pop them in the Facebook group. Make sure you join. Jerry and I will be in there all day. The takeaway for the day, I don't care what system you use, but champions use systems. Create anchor habits. Go crush it. And come back to Monday. I almost said tomorrow. Come back Monday. Join us here at the Toolshed, sponsored by Emerson, brought to you by our friends at Schedule Engine. Thousands of people just like you at this point, learning to make their day, life, work just a little bit easier. And Jerry, what do you always say?
Hey, thanks for stopping by today. Be good so you can do good out there. And go out and just have a fantastic weekend.
Fantastic. That's it.
Thanks
And
for
say hi to the
stopping by.
guys.
Hey,
Cheers.
guys.